everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Pink Pill. I am your host, Jamie Lynn, and I have a very special guest with me today, Miss Lana Chairez.
Hi.
Lana is actually my producer and engineer for Pink Pill, and so I have people commenting all the time, who's the girl in the background?
Me!
It's her.
My dumbass. It's my dumbass back there controlling the shit.
It's her, and she's a personality, and she also has her own show here at Sticky Paws. We're going to be filming that actually after Pink Pill.
Yes,
so.
after this episode. So if we're wearing the same outfit, just ignore it.
I was like, I told her we could get away with it because like this one's from here up and the other one's like full body. I was like, nobody's going to know.
I don't give a shit if they do know. I'm like, listen. It's the same day, same people.
They're going to be paying more attention to your background than they are us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I have dicks in the background. It's cool.
But I am so excited to have you here. So, you know, we kind of played around with a few topics, and then something happened earlier this week that I was like, oh girl, I have to pick your brain on this. So we all know I'm a huge fan of Fresh and Fit.
Fuck Fresh and Fit, bro. They're fat and ugly. They weren't fresh. They weren't fit at all. They were not cute, and they smell like mothballs.
Do they? Okay,
yeah.
I've never smelled a mothball before.
Oh, don't.
Okay,
it smells like the corner of a dirty closet.
Okay, well that actually gives me a bit of an idea. It's actually like pretty. It's like I feel like I could taste it now.
Right. Like that.
But you were actually so on Pink Pill. I definitely like do a lot of critiques from Fresh and Fit. I can't say their name. Can I not talk today? I need more caffeine.
I think it's that God doesn't want you to talk about them because they're fucking idiots.
I feel like God put me here to talk about them.
That part.
No, like I'm not a fan of their work. I think it's really harmful to just female and male genders. Like I don't think I don't think they're offering anything that's actually really helpful at all. And I think it promotes like a divide between the sexes more than anything. But, and I was actually asked to go on the show again, and I declined again. But you were on the show.
I was on Fresh and, well, technically I was on Access Vegas that was featuring Fresh and Fit.
Okay.
So
was it Access Vegas or was it Fresh and Fit?
It was Access Vegas featuring Fresh and Fit.
Got it. Okay.
So they were, which is funny because I'll share some behind the scenes stuff that actually happened.
Yeah, I want all the deets.
They were super pussy, bro. Like, yeah. So it was Fresh and Fit, and I mean, it was Access Vegas podcast, but they featured Fresh and Fit because they were out here. And come to find out, you know, everybody was supposed to be, what is it called? Streaming. They were supposed to be live streaming off of their accounts.
Rumble or whatever.
It was on Rumble. It was going to be on Michael Sartain's. It was going to be on Rolo's. It was going to be on that one dude, the one that looks like a bunch of crunch. What's his name?
Oh, wait.
He's Prince CEO.
I don't know his name. He's the Fresh of Fresh and Fit.
He's the Fresh of Fresh and Fit. Yeah.
Myron?
No,
that's the fit of Fresh and Fit is Myron. I don't know the other guy's name.
Myron's the one that looks like a walking Slim Jim. And the other one looks like a melted bunch of crunch.
Okay, so
the one that looks like the melted bunch of crunch.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway. They were supposed to be live streaming on all platforms. So there's going to be 6 different platforms that they were going to be live streaming. And they ended up telling the engineers about it. And Myron ends up walking up to George and tells him like, hey, we're actually not going to live stream off of Michael Sartain's. So just let him know.
Oh, he booted Michael out?
He booted Michael out.
What did Michael think about that?
What do you mean? Michael didn't have time to think about anything. No one told Michael.
So did Michael not know until after it was filmed?
No, Michael did not fucking know.
Ooh, he must have felt some type of way.
I don't even know if they live streamed on his stuff like by the end.
Why
anyway.
did they boot him out?
I have no idea. Maybe he's just like not the coolest one there. I don't know what the fuck. Like I love Michael. I would have let him live stream. Like why not live stream it?
That's pretty disrespectful, right?
I think it's more so like Myron just wanted like more views on his than like if we boot out Michael Sartain's personal account.
I mean, technically they're the guests though.
They are the guests.
So you'd think that they would.
But he took full control of the studio.
So I've seen him. So I've seen what he does a little bit behind the scenes, and I've also talked to some people that have been on the show. No, I haven't talked to Myron. I have not met them in person.
Who are you talking about?
So I've talked to a few girls that have been on the show that have told me some behind the scenes stuff as well about how he really kind of controls the room and sets the tone before the show even starts.
Oh, yeah.
So, and kind of create, what they've reported to me is creates an atmosphere of fear and intimidation, actually.
Totally.
And so that's something that starts before the show, before he even begins talking to people. And he's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to ask. And there's really no choice for them.
He does this. He goes, all right, ladies, this is what we're going to do. And this is how it's going to go. You guys, it's not about your feelings. We don't care about your emotions. You're going to get kicked out. If you get kicked out, just walk out of the fucking room. We don't care about your emotions. And it's all about us. Everybody talks one at a time. If I'm talking, you do not interrupt. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? You understand that? It's like,
how? Okay. So
what the fuck? I'm like,
how is that,
how is that
thank
attractive?
you for, well, it's not attractive. It's beta behavior. Okay, it is. It's beta behavior because I don't know any alpha that has to be like, okay, guys, listen to me. Because here's the thing with alpha energy, it commands respect. It doesn't demand it.
Oh, 100%.
Okay? And I don't see them commanding respect. They have to literally like line everybody up and be like, okay, everybody follow the rules because women are just too dumb to pay attention or they're just not intelligent. And this is the kind of stuff I hear red pill say.
Yeah. I'm sorry, like, one thing about it is like the engineer Travis, he's like head honcho here at Sticky Paws. Shout out Travis. I love my
Trav.
Thank you.
Right, love Travis.
Everyone.
So Travis is alpha energy without alpha personality. He can talk to like
the thing is that
he talks to me so nice. He can literally
yeah, but that is alpha personality.
That's my point.
That's the thing. That is actually yeah. So they're misrepresenting what a real alpha is because alpha doesn't just command respect. They are respectful. And if he is measuring respect by just don't interrupt me, because that's really the only thing I hear him do is just don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. You're being disrespectful. I'm going to kick you out. And he says that every time a girl gets him. Every time a girl gets him, don't interrupt me. You're interrupting me. And then get out of here. And then you see he schooled her. Myron schooled her. And then it's like dun dun dun. And then they have their little like things, they're like little sound bites and stuff like that. Like, how is that respectful behavior? You know what that is? That's a fucking cop out, in my opinion. That's a cop out, meaning like I can't really hold my own. Shit, these girls are getting one over on me. I need to deflect and distract, and I'm gonna say they're interrupting me so I can get them out of here.
Totally.
And I don't have to be accountable for what they just said or the questions they asked me. And here's the thing. I really wish girls would stop going on this show because if you stop going on the show, they are not going to have a show. Also, I have never met one woman ever benefit from going on their show. They sell you, because I've been told this that to coax me into going on the show with them, that it's going to help my career, that I'm going to get all these views, that no, publicity is bad publicity. This is the kind of shit that I hear, and I'm sorry, but like I respect myself, and this is not a knock to people that have been on the show. Right. I know who my audience is. They're not there to hear me. They're not there to understand me. They're there to belittle me. They're not here to hear my perspective on things. Their mind is made up. And when your mind is made up, then you have an agenda to push, and you're not actually open to the influence, the perceptions, and opinions of other people. So don't waste your breath, ladies. If you stop going to the show, now you'll see who's really got the power.
It's pussy power all day, because I'm like, you have 14 girls in one room and they are the ones that make your episode, but yet you hate women.
Do you know that I heard him say that he hates vaginas? That
I believe him.
I think he described them. No, he described them as disgusting. He's like, vaginas are gross. They're disgusting. And I was like, then why do you have a whole like playbook and this pickup culture on how to get it? Yeah, how to get it for guys if it's so disgusting. Like maybe you're into something else. I don't know.
I think I genuinely think if I like walked around with a strap on, I could get him to bend over and I could peg him.
Oh my God.
I'm so convinced. Myron, like I think he would be a little harder.
Okay.
To bend over, but I'm so certain that like Myron definitely like dabbles in the bisexuality in a little bit, because it's just too weird. it's too hateful. I'm like, why do you hate women so much? Why are you trying to belittle them so hard?
But he would say, and that's such a great question, because I feel like they do hate women. I really do. I think that he has a real disdain for women just in the way that he talks and the way that he treats them and the culture that he creates. Like, you can feel it. Now, I know that women, we're in our feelings. We feel things, but guess what? That also is information that reads. Yeah. And that is a form of knowledge that we shouldn't discount. And you can feel his disdain for women just even on video alone. You don't even have to meet this guy in person. It reads in how short-tempered and short-fused he is. Yeah. And then
he's like that in person.
But also just say like, what is wrong with women being emotional? Like, this is one of the problems that I have with this. Women do tend to be more emotional than men, but that's not a bad thing. That's we're different in that way. That's what makes
women.
We're different in that way. And should we have emotional control and know how to emotionally regulate? Absolutely. Yeah. That is an important part of maturity and emotional intelligence. But that is not a knock on women for being emotional. Also, you know who the most emotional person on that show is?
Myron.
It's him. It's him. It's Myron. And Myron is the most emotional person on that show. I'm sorry. Did somebody... And here is what he does. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Get out of here. Get out of here. Don't interrupt. You're being disrespectful. And it's like, you're getting so, like, that is like his one liner. It's like, you're interrupting me. If that's the only way you're measuring respect, somebody needs to hold up a big fat mirror and just say, look at your content and say, do you think that this is actually respectful towards women? And he will say, well, do you know what misogyny is? And then he'll say this, it's the hatred of women. Yeah, it's exactly what you're doing. Yeah. And that's why you got demonetized, because more people agree with this point of view than your point of view. And the fact that you cannot be objective enough to take that information on is a problem with your thinking. True. And quite frankly, your emotions. Anyway, Lana, I got all fired up after
you did, yeah. Which is funny because I'm like, the fact that excuse me, the fact that Myron really is like the most emotional person on that podcast makes me laugh, because I really feel like, mind you, I kept it classy on the podcast because I knew what he wanted. So it was like, that's why I apologized. Everybody was like, why did you apologize? And I was like, because I will always morally be correct. I will always morally be correct.
Here's the thing, Lana. Like, I think that you can apologize when you've actually done something wrong. Some people will bait you into an apology where it's not deserved.
No, well, in that sense, I did lose my train of thought.
Yeah, but let's actually look at that though. Is that really warranted? Like, is that something that you should be apologetic for? That's normal fucking behavior.
No.
And what he does is he'll shame you for something like that.
He could do whatever the fuck he wants. Honestly, he could shame me for anything. I'm not ashamed. I'm not a shameful person. I went on the podcast and Michael Sartain and Rolo personally invite me to these podcasts because they know that I will always morally be correct. And the thing is, like, for me to apologize to you, it wasn't an apology per se, because I'm like, yeah, I did lose my train of thought, but I'm more so of like, I don't like to argue. I'm not going to sit here and argue with a grown-ass man in a diaper. I cannot sit here and like listen to your voice. Like, I'm the one with the annoying voice, but you don't shut the fuck up. So what I'm going to do is be like, okay, I apologize. Okay, I'm sorry.
See, this is the
I apologize. Sorry. Bye. Okay, I apologize. And he still kept going.
I know, but this is a really good example of how this creates a really toxic culture, because what you did is you placated his bad behavior. Yeah. Okay, it's a very normal thing for you to lose your train of thought. We're referencing a clip that we're going to play in a minute, guys.
Yeah.
But you apologize for losing your train of thought. Like, that is not something that I personally would have apologized for, because I think you apologize when you've done something wrong and you need to take ownership and accountability. That is not an egregious offense. And yet what they're doing is they're majoring on minors, and they're like, well, you lost your train of thought. Let me just fucking kowtow and worship you. Like, get out of here.
And on top of that, because I have a legitimate mental issue, which it stems from trauma, I'm sure, but I have like a legitimate memory issue.
Well, it's sad that he wasn't more empathetic to you then.
I don't care.
Well, I know that you personally don't care. I know that it personally did not affect you. I know that you've got a really thick skin, and I know that I know that you know what you're walking into. And I'm not saying that you've done anything bad or wrong by any means. What I'm trying to call out is the manipulation that he's doing, and I'm trying to, because look, women will placate behavior like that. Like what Lana was doing. She's saying, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, whatever, just so he'll shut up and leave her alone.
Just so he would shut up.
Okay.
Mind you, I would have never apologized on a regular basis, but it's like, you're so annoying. Like, oh my God, like you don't shut up. And then he's the type that talks so fast. He talks like this. Like he talks so fast. And I'm like, you do understand that people who speak fast, like Michael Certain, sorry, love you guy, but like when you speak fast, it doesn't make you sound smarter. It makes you sound fast. That's it. You just sound like Speedy Gonzalez on crack.
You know, and like how, that's such a good point, because why do you think he talks so fast? Is it
because
just
you cannot keep up? That's the thing, is people speak fast so that you cannot keep up, and so you cannot interrupt them. So like, if like as I'm speaking right now, you have every opportunity to interrupt me because I'm speaking slow. But if I'm speaking to you like this, you have no chance of interrupting me because you can't get a word in. And even if you try to get a word in, I'm gonna speak louder, and I'm just gonna speak a little louder, and I'm gonna speak a little louder just so
and
you can.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell you that you're being disrespectful. I'm gonna kick you off my show. Just kidding.
And like, cause the funny thing is that it's a psychological factor. Like, you studied psychology. I studied psychology. I didn't study as long as you did, but it was like an obsession of mine. And I learned that people who speak over people tend to be people who are insecure in their argument.
I agree.
It has been
it lacks foundation.
It lacks foundation. I'm like, why do you need to get louder? Why do you need to speak faster?
That's the way. See, and again, these are it's important for me to teach people about the manipulation tactics that they use, because not all abuse is I'm going to punch a hole in the wall, and sometimes there are subtle forms of abuse like fear, intimidation, power, and control. And that's what I'm trying to highlight in these groups where they're coming in.
Love bombing could be an abuse.
Love bombing is a form of abuse, absolutely, because it creates a really addictive attachment, you know. But like, why don't we play the clip? And so everybody can kind of get a sense for what we're referencing,
talking
and then
about.
we'll talk about it when you have a sec, Trav.
Are you listening to anything I'm saying?
Not necessarily, really.
Look, if we're gonna have a conversation, you're gonna try to like rebut my points. You need to actually say, you need to listen to what I'm saying so that you can actually respond properly.
I was saying,
it doesn't matter what you're saying unless you're listening to what I'm saying so that you can respond properly.
I was listening to what you were saying.
What did I say then?
I don't know. I'm forgetful.
Okay.
It's a literal problem. I'm forgetful. They can vouch for me.
All right. Well, look, if you're forgetful, that's your problem, not mine necessarily. So if you can't engage in a conversation properly, then maybe I should just move on to someone that can engage in a conversation properly.
Can I respond to your point? Can I say something really quick? So then,
and please pay attention, because if you're going to hurt the quiet of the show like that, and you know,
I wasn't trying to.
Well, you are.
I was trying to answer, and then you went and spoke to somebody else, so I lost train of thought.
Well, yeah, she was trying to come in and defend you, and she didn't do too much. So my thing is, if you're gonna come in and you're gonna be engaged in a conversation, like this isn't let me just talk to listen to myself talk.
I apologize.
Like, listen to what I'm saying so that you can respond properly. Stop interrupting me when I'm speaking, please.
Well, I apologize.
Okay. Well, you can stop talking now.
Can I
I lost my train of thought. Go ahead with the submissiveness. Come back to me.
So women have been submissive, and they'll
Wait, hold on. What'd you say? Excuse me?
Didn't you tell me to keep up when I lost my train of thought?
I'm saying a million things right now. Running a show, answering questions, dealing with 11 girls plus. Just get the fuck out of here, dude. Just get out. Just leave.
Can I say
Just
something?
leave. We're not going to lower the IQ of the podcast for you. What are you saying?
So on submissiveness,
just leave.
Pussy bitch.
You know, I look at stuff like that, and it grosses me out. It really does. And you know another weird thing that I noticed is everybody asking permission to talk. I thought that was really telling for me, because usually in a podcast, it's pretty. It lets you know the tone that he set prior to the beginning of the thing, and that's important for fear, intimidation, power, and control. Everybody, okay. So like, I hear all these girls, can I, and it's like, are we having an open dialogue or not? Do you know how many times I had Michael Sartain on? You know how many times he interrupted me?
Yeah.
I never kicked him off the show.
Yeah.
And I didn't give a fuck either. because we both ended up interrupting each other. Like it's a dialogue, and we both were able to have that respectfully. But he has to have so much control over the women.
Yeah.
Over the women to be like, you talk. I know. I didn't see him ask the men's ages. I didn't see him ask like their body count. Like he doesn't do anything like that. And that again is what polarizes the genders against each other. So having played that clip, I kind of want to hear what your impressions are, what happened behind the scenes, and like what happened after that.
Well, to be fair, because what I was gonna say right now is what was I gonna say? Oh, so he has never spoken to a man like that, ever. And I just thought about it because when that whole situation with George, when he had told George like, hey, we're not gonna live stream off of Michael Sartain's personal account. And George was like, okay, does Michael know that? And he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll tell him. And so no one told him. It was there was 4 men there. Four men. And no one told Michael Sartain that he wasn't going to live stream his show. So the person who told him was the producer. The fact that the producer had to get in the middle of that little weird ass worm war that they were in, of like, oh, don't put it on his fucking podcast. That like weird beta bitch shit. The fact that the producer was the one that had to tell him. Oh, and mind you, the producer said it out loud in front of everybody, which was the greatest thing he ever fucking did. He was like, "Hey, so Michael, did Myron let you know that we're not live streaming off of yours?" And Michael's looking at everybody like, "What do you like? Why am I the only one who didn't know that?" And Myron didn't tell Michael. Like, you cannot, like, you have every inch in you that can talk to a woman like that, but you can't even just tell a man that, hey dog, we're just not gonna live stream off of your stuff, but you could talk to me like that.
It tells you that he's really like uncomfortable like having those conversations with other men.
Exactly.
And that's why, again,
that makes you beta, because an alpha male can talk to another alpha male and say, hey, this is what's going down, whether you like it or not. And he could have said it respectfully, but the fact that he don't know how to talk to a man, you can't even tell Michael Sartain. It's Michael Sartain. He's so nice.
He is nice.
Michael is so very fucking nice. Sweet. How can you not tell him that? He's so nice. You're a bitch, bro. Like, you are a bitch if you cannot.
Like, if you're having a men's help group and you're trying to teach men how to be confident and get women, I think you need to learn basic communication skills with men and with women. And that's a great example of how he really kind of,
how he doesn't have the communication skills.
It's kind of cowardice, I would say.
Very much. That's
to have somebody else do your dirty work. I don't feel like that's an alpha trait.
Nope.
You know?
Behind the scenes, bro, like, Myron is a bitch. In front of the camera, Myron's still a bitch because he has never spoken to a man the same way he speaks to a woman. And when there was a viral clip that went on when he was in a live stream on Fresh and Fit podcast in Miami, there was a dude who, I'm here to see Myron.
Oh, what?
What am I? Yeah, it's a viral clip, girl. Go. I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, yeah, send it to me.
I'll send it to you. This one dude knocked on his fucking door and was like, "Yo, I'm here to see Myron." They were like, "Hey, we're filming live. What are you talking about? I'm filming live. I can't come to the door." No, bro. He's specifically asking for you. Dude, like, busted in the door. Was like, "I'm looking for fucking Myron's ass.
Damn.
I'm looking for that bitch specifically." Dude ran.
Wait, I thought he's supposed to, wait, hold on. Isn't he supposed to provide and protect? Isn't he like, if somebody like breaks in, because I hear this is what they always default to is, I'm going to, in a life or death situation, it's me. And that's why you need to submit to my authority, because I'm going to protect you. And he's running. Ladies, if you're dating Myron, you just know he's a runner. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
he's a runner.
He's a runner. He's a track star. Bro, the simple fact that he ran, hid behind alpha men, obviously.
Did he really?
Yes, it's in the clip. He hid.
I gotta see this.
And he called the fucking cops. Call the cops. Call the cops. Call the cops. Oh my God, everybody call the cops. Everybody hide, call the cops. He didn't protect not one woman. He didn't protect not one woman. Every man was in front of him. So if men are the protectors of women and they had to protect you, you're a woman, bitch. You are a flat-chested woman.
Well, it shows the same it shows the same character trait, and this is what you have to say. Look, he's all bark no bite. Okay.
Yeah.
Like there's like what is the follow through if you really live by these principles? And look, like you can resolve conflict without physical violence as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And look, and there's nothing wrong with him being fearful either. Let me just say that there's nothing wrong with him being fearful in a situation like that. But the reason I'm ticking at it is because this isn't what he's preaching to men. Okay, this isn't what he's preaching. So I don't know, man. Are you buying what he's selling? Because I sure wouldn't.
Oh my God. Yeah, they are, which is fucked up because like guys, I already have guys in my comments talking about like she was interrupting the show. She was high throughout the whole show. She was interrupting the show. And I was like, I was high. I had to be. I was on a fucking podcast with Fresh and Fucking Fit and Michael and Rolo having an uneducated conversation about whether my body count is important for marriage or not. Well, guess the fuck what? Oh, I was about to say something I shouldn't say, but I have certain people in my motherfucking DMs who are billionaires. This dude, it's in all of my content. This dude went through my content, liked a bunch of my shit and was like, you are fucking funny. You are hilarious. Love you. Would love to take you out. You're a beautiful woman. This dude's a billionaire or close to it. I don't know what the fuck he is. And this is a successful man that people look up to. Myron would want him on his podcast. Myron would kill to have this person on his podcast. And this is a person who has seen my content, didn't give a shit whether I had body counts or not. Didn't give a shit that I was a stripper, that I'm in my 30s, that I have cats, gave zero shits about all of that. Still wants to get to know me, wants to take me out on a date.
I know. And I talk about that on Pink Pill, how that really doesn't matter when somebody's it really doesn't matter.
Your personality matters.
It does. Your personality connection matters. Like those things don't turn off the right person for you. And this goes both ways, guys or girls. Those things don't scare, like you having a child or somebody like being bald or not 6'4" or something like that. Yeah. Those things don't scare away the right person. They only scare away the person that's not meant to be in your life.
For you.
You know, people always make concessions, and there's a big difference between what people report versus what they actually entertain. And the red pill only talks about what people report. And then again, they don't even take a deep dive into why they're reporting certain ways and what actually influences some of those report stats. Right. So you really kind of have to take information like that with a grain of salt. But I agree with you. I don't think that those things matter when it comes to love, because real love is beyond physical. It's bigger than that. It's something bigger than that. And you're not going to say, well, you've slept with one more person than I'm comfortable with, you're out of here. You know, if you're able to do that, you never had a connection with that person to begin with.
I can completely agree. Like, I can agree, but I also think that, like, when you put a number, like, my thing is, if you're asking the question in general, you are not the guy for me. Not even just for me. I have never
been asked that question, ever.
Girl, let me tell you something. I'm sure you have too. You're a beautiful fucking woman. I'm sure you've been backstage at everything. You've been to the mansions. You've been in the fucking fancy cars. You've dated the millionaires. Like pretty privilege is a fucking thing. Yes, it is. But at the exact same time, when you meet these millionaires that are stupid successful, I'm talking like the owner of Resorts World, like the Steve Wynn, like these are people that I've met that I'm like, you are, and they look at me, they're like, I'd love to take you out. Well, I'm not saying Steve Wynn wanted to take me out, nothing like that.
They would.
But these are the kind of guys that would take me out, and then when they do, they have millionaire money. Never once in their life has asked a woman, what is your body count? Do you have kids?
I've never.
How old are you? And have you ever been a stripper? Like, they have never asked past questions. Matter of fact, a lot of these guys are actually dating the strippers and the hoes. Why? Because the hoes and the strippers are the ones that have the access to rich men. And these rich men love the fun and wild fucking strippers that are down to do whatever the fuck they want. You know, there's that wild life that a stripper or a fucking escort will give these rich men that they have never seen before. And they give them that life and they love it. They love it. I'm one of them. I am a stripper. I meet these rich ass men. They know I'm a stripper and they still want to date me. And I've been engaged 6 separate times. 4 of them were millionaires. Why the fuck would I believe anything that these red pill guys would say to me when I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, that's not true. It's successful men do not ask women what their body count is.
It's true. Like I don't think I've ever been asked that question ever. And I didn't even know that was a question until I was introduced to red pill, and I was like, wait, what is this? Yeah. Wait, what is this? Women losing value as they age? What is the sexual marketplace that starts at 15? Ew, gross. Yeah. Like ew. Like I'm pretty sure you can get arrested in some states for that, but okay, we'll just go with that, I guess. Anyway, sorry, you guys, you got me. I'm heated after this, but
it's disgusting.
You know, like I agree, like I do see that happening, but also I want to counter that a little bit because we've both been exposed to probably pretty successful people, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't marry those successful people, and that totally counteracts their point of hypergamy.
Right.
Okay. In fact, I remember when I was single, I was like, man, it'd be so fucking easy just to be like, I remember having that thought and I had to check myself. Right. I hate even admitting that, but I did because I knew that I could be set for life. Mm-hmm. I knew that I could be set for life, but for me, it was bigger than that. And I was like, I want love though. And I know that I could be comfortable. I know that I could probably experience some amazing things, but what I was really after was love. Mm-hmm. And most women are wired that way. I'm not saying all women are. Right. Okay, there are women out there that do that, but that is where they're basing those exceptions, and then they're saying and then they're generalizing that, saying that all women do this. Most women, especially in Vegas, are out here taking care of a dude.
Yeah,
because most of the women out here can work in the industry and make quadruple what their men make. Okay, and a lot of women are keeping their men, or they're not as concerned about what's the status of the car, what's the status of this, and what that is now. Women do care about financial stability.
Yeah.
That is important. But not everybody out here is a gold digger. In fact, most women, that's not really their aim. Their aim is love and connection. And I think men want that as well.
Yeah. Actually, I was just on a podcast with Sean Kelly, and he had asked me, he was like, so does like money not like motivate you? And I was like, absolutely not. And he was like, he looked at me like he saw a roach on my face. Yeah. He looked at me like that's not normal. Like you just don't hear that. And I'm like, I understand that. But my thing is, I've already had access to it. Then now I just want access to genuine love. I'm like, money is so easy to get, especially in Vegas. A man with money is so easy to get, especially in Vegas as a stripper. I'm sorry, but I have met a lot of rich men because they literally will throw money at a fucking naked girl. That's a rich man. I'm sorry. I am exposed to them. I don't like them. I don't like your personality. And the simple fact that I know as a stripper, like I may not be the prettiest one in the room, but I am the most entertaining one in the room for fuck sure. And that I'm confident in. And when I am the most entertaining one in the room, every single guy in there is like, oh my gosh, she would be so much fun to be with. I want to hang out with her again. Mm-hmm. I want to be with her. I need you around. Even as a millionaire, like these are millionaire men that are like, I have never met a woman with substance. Like she's pretty.
I loved that you used that word because red pill really misses that. And they really, they take that emotion out of men as if men only want sex in women and that's the primary motivator. And it's like, men also want connection. Men want something that's real too. Do you know how many guys I've talked to that have been on a date with a real hot girl and then they're like, I can't fucking stand her. I couldn't wait for this date to be over.
Right.
Because there was nothing there, you know? Right. There was nothing there and there was no connection. Now they'll fuck her.
Of course.
They'll bang her.
Which is what they always say. Like, oh,
but
you
they're
look
not gonna
good.
But they're not going to have a long-term committed relationship. And so we can't overlook how important that is in relationships, and red pill overlooks that, especially with men. Men want connection too.
I think this whole red pill movement about like like men are dating younger women. We want like I'm successful, I have the money, so I have the control to date a younger woman, and they date younger women because they're dumb and naive, and I get it, but they have to understand that like these women are gonna grow up. Like when a 21-year-old hits 31 and your 45-year-old ass hits 55 and you're fucking now your pubes are turning gray, like she's not gonna find you attractive. And when a woman hits that 30 mark, you're gonna think like, oh well, I'm just gonna get another 20-year-old. Fine, do that, bro. But the woman that's 31 years old that has been with you for 10 years, she's 21, now she's 31, you're older, she's not gonna find you attractive anymore. And when a woman hits her 30s, that is when she is probably not at her smartest, but she is a lot smarter than when she was 21, obviously. She's gonna see the things that she shouldn't have done. Like a lot of the things, I don't have regrets, but I see a lot of shit now that I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have done that. Definitely shouldn't have fucked that. Like there's a lot of things that I'm like, it's not a regret, but I know better now, which is the reason why I don't date for money, because I know better now.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you act like these 21-year-old girls aren't gonna grow up. Like you're really gonna stay with this fucking young girl forever. She's gonna grow up and she's gonna leave you. And then here goes that whole red pill movement again. Women are so materialistic. Women just want this. She left me because I'm fat. She left me because I'm this. I'm like, well, isn't that the same reason why you was with her? Because she wasn't fat and saggy?
Yeah, it's so true. It's a double standard.
It's a huge double standard.
I think of like long term, like these guys can't actually feel secure. Like if you're actually following the blueprint for the red pill movement, and it's just about getting the youngest, hottest girl you can, and growing muscles and getting rich, because that's literally all I hear.
Yeah.
If that's really the protocol that you want to follow, okay, you might get some women, yeah, but you're not going to get love and you're not going to get permanency, because here's the thing. If you're just getting somebody for their looks, well, you're entertaining somebody that just wants you for your fucking cash flow.
Exactly.
And so you have to know it's a two-way street. So if you're using her for looks, she's going to be using you for your money. So you can't complain.
You can't.
You can't complain.
And what's funny is that Myron had actually made a point on the podcast, but I made a good point, but he didn't fucking focus on me. Why? Because I had a good point. But he had said something along the lines of, if women serial date, like if you knew that a woman dates, for like what am I trying to say? Some women let some men hit for free. If you find him attractive and he's the best fucking guy in the world, you're just like, everything about him is great. He doesn't have to take me to a 5-star restaurant. I'm probably just going to fuck him just to fuck him because I really like him. Mm-hmm. However, if a man that you don't like, you make him work harder. They were like, if you don't like him, then why should a man take you out and you make him work harder? If for another man you would have let it been easier. And I'm like, because I was like, you guys don't understand that we have to fake the funk too. If we like a guy, then yeah, we're gonna give it to him for free. Take me to the fucking park on a fucking blanket and not spend a dime on me. Don't spend anything on me. But I will fucking let you fuck because I genuinely like you. Because I actually have love for you. But if I don't, then yeah, court me. Convince me why. Because right now I'm like, you're arrogant. I don't like you. You're not attractive to me. You may have a little money. I'm like, I see potential, but I'm not fully invested in you. But I see potential. So okay, I'll let you take me on a date. Why not?
See, I could see why. So I see that's part of why they're getting really bitter. They call it, what is it, like brunch bros or something like that, where it's like these girls are just kind of dating guys for like free meals and stuff like that.
No.
And it does. Well, to their point, it actually does happen. It does happen where women are just not that into somebody, but they're like, fuck it, I'm bored tonight. I'm going to go out. You can take me out on a nice dinner. But when they really like somebody, it doesn't matter. So they're actually... We're all kind of saying the same thing. That does happen. The way I think you can get around that, and because I've made that mistake myself, and I think that if you don't feel it initially, you don't wait for somebody to grow on you.
No, my thing is waiting for someone to grow on you or not, so be it. But they're saying, why should, like, if we have no interest in this man, then yeah, you have to court me to convince me that I should give you my pussy. But if I already like you, then I'm gonna give you the pussy. And they're like, no, well, why should we even like put in that extra effort? I'm like, because you guys put in the extra effort. No, like you guys put in the extra effort to get the girl that is out of your fucking league. But you want us to date you, so we have to fake the funk. If we have to fake the funk, then pay for the fucking date.
Do you feel like sometimes when I hear like them talking, I feel like they feel entitled to sex. Yeah. And they're mad when they don't. It's like they feel like they deserve it and that they should have it.
If they're not paying for it off the street, like if they're not paying you like a hooker, they still feel like they're paying you in some sense. If they fed you, you need to fuck them. If they took you out to dinner, or if they took you out to a movie, or they took you out to a show, or they took you out of town, whatever the fuck it may be, if they spent a dime on you, you owe them pussy. Why? Because they have a fucking escort mentality, because they are tricks. Those guys that think like that are tricks. Michael Sartain, a trick. I'm sorry. You have a 21-year-old girlfriend, bro. You're not a trick. You're a trick. Rolo, I don't know. I don't even know. Rolo's married, but I don't know. I don't even know what his fucking wife looks like. I don't know shit about his wife. He never talks about him being married.
I know. You know what?
You have a whole red pill fucking thing, but you never talk about your wife.
When I went on his show, I asked him about it, actually.
And what'd he say?
Well, because I thought it was interesting that he's really kind of saying there's no value in commitment. But I was like, but you're in a committed relationship and you have a daughter. Mm-hmm. And I don't actually remember his response. I think he kind of skirted over it.
He probably never responded.
I think he skirted over it a little bit. But he did, it's... If there's really no value, like clearly he sees him being a huge leader in the red pill community, sees value in partnership. And to my knowledge, it's monogamous. To my knowledge, I don't know him that well, so I'm just speculating. Maybe they have an open relationship. I don't know. But it seems like with marriage, it's implied most of the time that it's monogamous. So clearly he sees some value in having one woman. Right. Also, he's modeling that for his daughter, fidelity and commitment.
His daughter just got married. I'm like,
well, clearly it's not about banging all the bitches, like there's men I feel like want emotional connection. Like even if you watch, men that watch porn and stuff like that, they want that eye contact, that's more, you know what I mean? They're waiting for the girl to look at you in the eyes and, make that, they want that. And that's more emotional than it is just purely sex. They're wanting that I'm important. She sees me. I want that emotional connection. And so men in the red pill community, they describe these relationships with women as very objectifying and just transactional. Mm-hmm. It's a trade. Relationships are a trust, not a trade. Women are not to be bought and sold, whether you want to do that in the form of cash flow, whether you want to do that in the form of dates and dinners. It's an exchange that should be mutually beneficial. Yeah. And also, let's talk about the concept of consent. Because that seems to be really missed in the red pill community.
Oh my God.
Where it's just kind of like, it's your choice, fellas, if you want to take a girl out. And look, if you're going to be bitter and because she doesn't give it up to you, just don't bother taking her out. Yeah. Don't bother taking her out because she has the right to say no. Like go on or go for a walk in the park or do something that isn't going to cost you a lot of money if you're worried about investing too much financially. There are other things that you can do to kind of suss this stuff out.
I was gonna say, it's usually those guys. It's guys like Myron who would go out on a date and start talking shit about like, the last date that I had, the girl fucking left me. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, it doesn't turn on a girl to know that you are that insecure and that women don't want to fuck with you, and to the point where you're bitching and complaining to me about the fact or the lack of women and pussy that you get. And you're making me feel bad and making me feel like I owe you pussy because that girl didn't give you any pussy. I've had guys do this on a date. Have you had that?
I've been on some horrific dates.
Mine was 2 days ago.
Oh my God, maybe we should talk about that.
Oh my God, that was the worst. No, either way, it was just not.
I like, Fresh and Fit and guys in the Manosphere, they come across as really wounded. And that's not something that I want to make light of, okay? Because we've all been through painful things, and I think that requires healing. What's destructive and the part that I hate is not them as a person, it's their message. It's how it's objectifying women. It's how they're trying to mislabel misogyny. No, I'm sorry. This is fucking misogyny. There is no other way around it. Yeah. This is misogynistic language. It's disrespectful to women. And then you get your panties in a twist when somebody interrupts you. Okay. So, and then just again, looking at the environment he creates alone with these women. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can I? Like, that really sets the tone. And you know what a lot of those women are doing, in my opinion? This might be really unpopular and it might piss a lot of girls off, but it's like, I hate it, but it's kind of like they're placating the behavior because they don't want to get picked on. Also, they're kind of pick me a little bit. No, really. They're kind of pick me a little bit because they're like, I want to be the good girl, and I don't want him to yell at me, and I want to be the one that's, reasonable, and I want to be the one that's, I want to be the smart one here, and I want to be the one that he likes, and so they'll do that, and then they don't challenge him on stuff, and it's just like, I feel like if I was in that room with everybody, I would be the only one there that's like, this guy's so full of shit, I can't believe you guys are buying this. Apologizing for an interruption, that's ridiculous. Can I ask what? Yeah. What are we doing here? What is this? I just really want all you girls to stop going on this show. Like, just stop. Like, this doesn't make anybody look good. It doesn't grow your Instagram. It doesn't give you clout. They just make you look stupid. And they make you look like you don't know what you're talking about.
To be fair, I have been on Michael Sartain's podcast. I was on Access Vegas twice. It didn't help me grow my following. I probably gained like 25 followers out of it, both times. This Fresh and Fit one, my clip, I wouldn't say went viral. It didn't go viral, but it got like 500 likes overnight, which was a lot for me. So I was like, all right, did good for Fresh and Fit. But the one time I went viral, it was with a guy that I met off of Access Vegas.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Jabrizi. I don't hate him. Like genuinely speaking, I don't hate him. I just didn't like his arrogance on that show. And he continued it on my show. But he's another one of those people that when the cameras are off, he's super nice and very genuine, like very smart, actually. I genuinely liked the conversation that we were having before the podcast started. And then the podcast started and he became this dickhead that swore that I wanted to sleep with him.
See, but that's the arrogance that Manosphere will teach men, right? And that's why it's a problem. It's like, oh, I've got to be the tough guy. You can't be vulnerable around women. You've got to put them in their place. And that creates misogynistic culture. That creates mistreatment towards women.
Yeah.
Like, I hate seeing that. And then they act like the stuff is so harmless. It's not.
It's not. Like, it's genuinely not. But to be completely fair, Jabrizi already had his own following already. So when I had him on my podcast and he posted me or reposted my stuff, I got a huge following out of that, and that clip went viral. Did I get viral off of Access Vegas, Michael Sartain, or Fresh and Fit? Absolutely not. So can I tell you that it doesn't help you? No, it doesn't help you. And to go back on a little bit of what you, and like, my boss is over there, okay?
Travis,
yeah,
earplugs.
Earplugs, yep, I'll take off the headphones.
Okay. But the bitches that walk in this, I work here, bitch, okay? I work here. But the bitches that be walking into this fucking studio for Access Vegas, I'm like, oh my God, you're dumb. Oh my God, you smell like stripper. Like, these are girls that we have found drugs in the fucking green room because of the people that left them there. And it's not Michael Sartain, it's not Rolo, but it's the guests that they bring in here. That's the quality of people that they know. The quality of people that are brought in here for Access Vegas are the type of people. Like, I do drugs, don't get me wrong, but like, I do them at home. These are people that are doing it in the fucking studio and before you get on a fucking podcast live on YouTube. These are the fucking decisions that you're making with your life. You are literally leaving drugs in the fucking, like, that's the type of quality of people that you're bringing here. And I'm like, and they say that, oh, we don't selectively just select these people. And I'm like, well, then, I have never seen a fat girl on your fucking podcast.
I've never seen a feminist on their podcast. They like to say that the women that have opposing viewpoints are feminists. They're not. Like, get a feminist scholar on your podcast, or other people that maybe are more well versed in the subject matter or the psychology behind what you're saying, and that would give a better counterpoint.
Or get real women. I'm sorry.
You know what? Most women, when they see this, when I talk to them, they're so disgusted by the behavior that they cannot. They refuse to go on a show, so they're limited to the pool that they can pick from. Yeah. Because most women won't touch that podcast. Most women won't.
Yeah, I genuinely, I would recommend against it.
I would 100% recommend against it. It does not make you look good. It doesn't grow your Instagram. You are not. These guys have an agenda, ladies, and it is to make you look like an idiot. Yeah. Okay. Now I know that not everybody on this show is not intelligent, and everybody has their own opinions and stuff like that. But they are not trying to hear your point of view. When somebody has an agenda, they're just trying to push that, and you have to know who your audience is. Yeah. You and I could come up with so many points to counteract them. And people are like, well, why don't you challenge them? Or why don't you this? Like, I'm happy to do that this way. Because this way I'll actually be heard. And this way you can actually pick it apart. And this way you can really kind of unveil some of the machinations that they're doing. When you do it like one-on-one, it's really hard. But these conversations, they are crucial conversations to have, but you have to be able to read the room, and you have to be able to know when you're being exploited, and then you don't exploit yourself.
I have a genuine question for your audience, though. Like, is the conversation that Michael Sartain and Rolo and Fresh and Fit have actually like a conversation that teaches anything?
So that's a great question, actually. And
what does it teach?
Okay, here's what it teaches. You're old. You're never going to get a man. You should have got married younger. Start getting married when you're 16. Never have sex with anybody else.
But the thing
and then always be subservient. Make sure you give them plenty of sex, and make sure you know how to make a sandwich. That's all I've gotten from it. That's what I learned. Okay. Like, honestly, when you've seen one podcast, you've seen them all. There is nothing new. They literally go through a script and a blueprint. Bro. It's the same thing every time.
Like, I talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Oh my God, bro. I'm like, I sat right there. It was on this fucking table. This exact table was where that fucking thing happened. I was sitting right there, and I'm talking. I was like this. Like, I was like, I'm gonna get kicked out for being bored. I'm gonna get kicked out. And so I sat there and I was like, you know what, let me sit up straight, because like I didn't want to get kicked out. So I'm like, let me just sit up straight, because I don't want to be kicked out because I'm bored. So I'm like listening to the conversation, and they're going around, and I'm like, they asked that question in every podcast.
Single one. It's like 5 questions. Have
What's
you seen
your age? What do you do for a living?
What's your body count?
They didn't ask the body count.
Education.
Yeah. And then they go and ask, what is it that, like, if you actually liked a man, say you liked everything about him, is it okay if he takes you here? Is it not okay to take you here, and why? It's the exact same question for each and every podcast. I'm sorry, but I think every time I've engineered your podcast, it has been a different fucking subject every time. It's a fucking podcast with quality and substance. My podcast has no substance. My podcast is a comedy podcast, which is what I say in the beginning of my podcast. This is a podcast that talks about everything and absolutely nothing all at the exact same time. My podcast doesn't have any substance, but it's funny. It's not supposed to teach anything, but it puts a fucking smile on your face. That podcast is literally there to just make people miserable, to just make people insecure about themselves, when in reality, I'm sorry, but there's a girl in here. She knows she's a big girl. She makes fun of the fact that she's a big girl, but she gets it. Like, she gets dudes, bro. She's a big girl, and she's in her 30s. She's a big girl in her 30s, hardly wears makeup, but she's beautiful. Her personality, bro, is so fucking dope. I love this girl more than anything. And she's always in here like, you want to see my new boyfriend? The fuck you mean, new boy? What happened to the dude last week? Oh, I dropped him. Look at this guy. And I'm talking like, they're not like it's not something that I would mess with, but these guys are handsome. Like handsome. This dude's a trucker. Truckers make good money. I'm sorry, but they make it seem like a fucking Fresh and Fit podcast is gonna really make that much money. You're asking for $50 a pop, like you're some fucking cam girl. He literally, when he was talking to the audience, I was like, bro, I did that shit, but I did it with my fucking clothes off. But you literally doing the same shit a cam girl does. Oh, hey, wow. Can you give me money? If you give me money, I'll answer your question. If you give me money, I'll answer your question. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that, bro? I was like, you're an OnlyFans girl.
Dude, you know what? I've
Rolo,
never...
Michael.
You made me look at this so differently right now, but like that's dead on what it is.
I know. They're fucking OnlyFans bitches. They are OnlyFans models.
I watched and that's not a knock on OnlyFans, okay? But like we're just using
I'm an OnlyFans girl too.
Yeah, so, you know, we love OnlyFans, whatever. So, like, but
he keeps switching the camera. I'm trying to fuck it. Okay, sorry.
It's getting wild in here. Oh my God.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Kick me off.
He's like,
I need a break.
You know what? Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Because I can't make a point. Get the fuck out. Sorry, you're arguing with me. Get the fuck out.
Sorry, it's like a real problem. It's like a medical disorder. I don't know. Like, I'm just kidding.
Well, we were on the subject of the fact that he's literally asking for tips like an OnlyFans girl.
So I love the way that you frame that, actually, because he really devalues women that do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And he makes them. When I hear him talk about it, he makes. It's like they're subhuman, the way that he references them. And I hate that. Like, you don't have to agree with what people do. And I agree that there can be aspects of that can really hurt women, for sure, and can possibly like harm relationships. However, what he is doing is quite similar in a sense of where you're
begging for money on a screen like a cam girl.
Yeah, it's like a girl kind of toying with you, almost going to take her top off, and he's like, I'm almost going to answer your question if you...
Mind you, this is the best part. You know their audience, Michael Zartain, Rolo, and Fresh and Fit. We looked it up yesterday because, we needed the statistics. Fresh and Fit has 0.02 women who are followers of theirs. Everyone else, 0.8%. Every single other person is a man. Guess what?
That's scary.
Think about this. Just think about this. Okay.
It's scary that this is being pushed to all these men.
Right.
Because it's like, I'm like, God, sorry, ladies. This is the dating pool now,
That's why I'm lonely, bitch. That's why they say it's a me thing. I'm like, no, you are the reason why I'm single, because guys really think like you. And I'm a great fucking catch, bro. Not really. But
yes, you are, Lana.
Think about
Get out of here.
I can be, but I gotta have an attitude. But think about it this way, okay? There's a cam girl who's on a computer asking for tips. There's Fresh and Fit on a computer asking for tips. What is the difference? The literal difference is this one is going to show you a nipple to get $10 tips, whereas you is like, I'm going to answer your question for a $10 tip. You're doing the exact same fucking thing, but you're talking shit about these OnlyFans girls and cam girls and strippers. I'm like, bro, I swear.
Well, it's that slut shaming culture.
He's a slut. What is their body count?
The thing is that they justify their bad behavior because they're men. That's the only justification. They're like, this makes biological sense because this is how we procreate, and so this is my excuse to behave badly and never be faithful to a woman. Like, that's the only reason that they have, right? But yet women are supposed to be monogamous because, evolutionary psychology, and it just makes sense. But, I look at that so differently because it's so destructive for the woman when she is cheated on. How could that, like, it just wouldn't make, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that affects her male partner as well. I mean, I'm going to do a whole segment on monogamy, I think, on Sunday. So,
Ooh.
yeah, I'm bringing in a cool dude to do it with, too. So I'm excited.
Who believes in monogamy? Is
Yeah,
he a successful guy?
He's pretty successful, guys.
A successful man. A
Yeah.
successful man that believes in monogamy.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk?
I know. It's out there, guys. It exists.
Not even out there. It's like, it's just the simple fact that they make it seem like a successful man wants to cheat, wants a third.
Look, I see what they're saying as far as how successful men can have more options and how it might make it more likely for them to cheat. But to suggest that men aren't looking for connection, to say that, hey, we're just going to kind of put our dick in anything, like that really kind of undervalues, I think, what a lot of men are too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of men do better in relationships, actually. And here's another point. They knock a lot of single moms on their show, and it pisses me off. It pisses me off, okay, that they knock a lot of these single moms, and it's just like, well, and then there's no empathy for the possible situation that she's been in. They also blame the woman for
being single.
For being single, you know, and then not really taking a look as to why that happened, right. You know. And I was going somewhere with this, and now I lost my train of thought again.
Fuck.
Oh, well.
Kicked off the show. Get the fuck out of here.
Kick me off again. You know, but it's just like these guys really just, you know, they criticize a lot of single moms, and it's just like, but you're out here not trying to have a family. That was my point. It's like, you're out here not trying to have a family. You're over here spreading your seed, and you're saying, hey, I don't want monogamy. And then you're knocking single moms. Like, that to me sounds like a direct, you know, contradictory. It sounds like it's not, you know, they're putting men and women against each other. And so the whole point of Pink Pill is to really kind of reorganize a lot of those thoughts, talk to you about what's actually healthy, because believe it or not, I'm actually qualified to do it.
Myron ain't. Neither is Michael Sartain or Rolo.
You know, and give, you know, a healthy perspective on love, dating, and relationships. Well, Lana, we kind of have to kind of wrap up and come to a close, but
we had a good conversation.
We did, girl. I could do this for hours. And you're so easy to talk to.
You are too. This is us every time you come in here.
I know.
That's the
thing. That's the thing. I was like, I feel like we should do a pre-show before our show, because Lana and I have a whole thing going on before I even start filming. You remember that one time I cracked a beer open accidentally? Oh my God. So I don't drink. Quick story time.
No, my gosh, she was an alcoholic.
No, I was not.
Oh my God. She took one sip. It wasn't even a sip. It was like she like stuck her tongue in it. She was drunk for the rest of the day, bro. She couldn't even do the rest of the podcast. Oh my God, I was so ashamed of you.
I know, it was bad. No, I'm not drinking or anything like that. And I reached into the fridge because I thought it was a Diet Coke, but it was a Coors Light. And I'm sitting there in front of everybody just cracking open a beer. Just everybody's looking at me, and I'm just like, I take a swig, and I'm like, whoa. And I was like,
whoa, shit, her face went like, oh my God. She was like, was that beer? Was that beer?
I was like, I just broke my sobriety. Like, anyway, guys, beer looks a lot like Coors Light. So,
it really
I mean,
does.
wait,
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke looks just like Coors Light.
Yeah, it does, though. Now that you say it.
But I want to thank you so much for coming on. We've got to go, guys, because I'm going to be a guest on Lana's show. Tell everybody where they can find you, Lana.
At Laughing with Lana. That's on YouTube. But you guys can find me at Lana Chairez Comedy on Instagram and on, TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm not on TikTok like that, though.
Well, you are a beautiful person inside and out. I appreciate your feedback and also your help with Pink Pill. Travis, thank you.
Thank you, Travis.
Of course. It's fun.
Shout out, Travis. Shout out my big boss man.
Bye, guys. Until next time.
Bye, guys.